Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the show The Bastard Son and the Devil Himself. Fun fact, this show is based off of the book Half Bad, which has two sequels. This show came out in 2022 and stars Lycurgo, Nadia Parks, and Emilie Vekemans, and was created by Barton. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. The Bastard Son tells of Nathan, who is the son of the most powerful and evil blood witch, Marcus. The Fairborn Council, which manages the magical community, worries that he may be a future threat or savior, so they try to keep him close, but he escapes their clutches and sets out to find the truth while making some friends along the way. The Bastard Son and the Devil Himself is a magical adventure. It has similar vibes to Ragnarok, The Magicians, or Discovery of Witches. The Bastard Son and the Devil Himself introduces us to a new world and makes us really question who is good or bad. The show itself spends a lot of season 1 world building and introducing us to characters while displaying some of their abilities. Lycurgo did great as Nathan, who was really trying to figure out who he is. He was treated as a villain from birth, and I found it crazy how they wanted him to be this hero after treating him so poorly. It was interesting to see him on this journey to figure out what he wanted for his life and really come into his own. He had been told to conceal himself so that he didn't end up like his father, and I love how towards the end of the season, he started letting himself just be him so that he can learn and find his own path. The way his character was treated just made me realize that you can do everything right, but you can still be judged on the actions of your parents' mistakes or just by who you are. I love the relationship between Nathan, Annalise, and Gabriel. You could tell that they all deeply cared for each other and there were more feelings there than just a normal friendship. I feel like the actors had great chemistry and the show did a great job of showing how this relationship blossomed naturally without putting so much focus on trying to explain the relationships. Celia trains Nathan and she has a complicated past with his father because Marcus killed her parents. I love how she was one who looked at things in a different light and saw that Nathan wasn't a bad kid, but also how some of the Fairborn were abusing their power. It was great to see her being kind of like the voice of reason and trying to handle things in a peaceful way as much as she can. I never saw her as evil, but one who was this way because of witnessing the death of her parents. Saul was a villain even though he tried to make everyone think he's doing something good. He is a weak man and is power hungry and really showed that just because you say you are doing the right thing doesn't mean that it's right. I never liked him because he treated Nathan so bad and he even instilled that hate into his own son. I'm glad that his daughter saw through him and took him out before he can cause even more trouble. Jessica was one character who was pushing my buttons throughout the whole entire show. She was constantly rude to Nathan, even though she was his half sister, and she was really just out to kill him. I was upset that she judged him for who he was instead of trying to help him, considering they grew up together and she knew he wasn't evil, but instead she wanted to be an evil person, and she was probably the most deranged person on this show. I love how whether you're good or bad, you have to do this blood ritual in order to get your powers. It was cool to see how everyone gets their powers, and I was hoping to dive more into why people get certain powers because it seemed kind of random. I think my favorite part of this show is how they took time to not only explore how magic is all over this world, but also how everyone has a different idea of who the bad guys are. It showed that you don't have to follow the status quo and you can make your own decisions from the information that you have. It was interesting to see how some things were justified on both sides and some really weren't. I felt like it was teaching a life lesson to learn as much as you can before passing judgment, but also that people in high powered positions will constantly be pointing fingers at people and so often don't see how many lives they are affecting. It was interesting to hear people's stories and watch the characters grow from learning all of these different perspectives. The Bastard Son and the Devil himself is a great addition to the fantasy genre. The cast has great chemistry and it introduces us to a whole new world. Unfortunately, the show got canceled by Netflix, but I still think that it's a great show and it's worth the watch. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to subscribe. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.